Peptides in skincare. If you spend any time scrolling through Beauty Talk, Instagram, pretty much anywhere online, you've probably seen the claim that they are basically Botox in a bottle. And look, I get why that's appealing, right? Smooth skin, youthful skin without the needles and the pain. But here's the thing, that claim, in my opinion, has actually done more harm than good. It sets peptides up to fail. Because no, peptides aren't Botox in a bottle. They're not going to freeze your face or ever replace injectables. I shouldn't say ever, they might do one day, but that doesn't mean peptides are useless. In fact, I think peptides are one of the most underrated skincare ingredients out there today. And today, I want to show you why with the help of today's sponsor, COSRX, and their peptide trio. Let's go back a little bit. What is a peptide? Because I still feel like I was confused for the longest time about what peptides were and how they actually worked and were they any good, because those Botox claims just overshone everything. A peptide is basically a short chain of amino acids, the building blocks of proteins like collagen, elastin, and keratin. And in skincare, peptides are kind of used as like little messengers almost. Imagine like post-it sticky notes that your skin cells pass around saying things like, we need like a bit more collagen over here, or repair this damage over here. Now, there isn't just one type of peptide, there are loads. Signal peptides that boost collagen production, carrier peptides that deliver trace minerals to help repair skin, enzyme inhibitor peptides that slow down processes that break down collagen, and yes, neurotransmitter inhibitor peptides, the ones responsible for those Botox claims. They relax tension in the skin, but only very slightly, nothing like an injection. So when you see people over on TikTok being like, look what peptides did to my forehead, it's a placebo, or they're just making it up. So let's talk about that phrase, right? Botox in a bottle. Some brands really grabbed onto that one particular peptide called argireline and marketed it as topical Botox. And the idea is that it can inhibit neurotransmitters, preventing facial muscles from fully contracting. The problem is, these peptides, as we know, do not penetrate deep enough to work the way that Botox does. The effect, even if you notice it, is super subtle and temporary. More like a little softening of fine lines, not the frozen look, which to me is good. So when people buy a peptide serum expecting injectables in liquid form, they're obviously disappointed. That's how peptides ended up with this reputation of being overhyped. But to me, in my opinion again, when you stop comparing them to Botox and just look at what peptides actually do, they're actually really impressive, and I think can be a key part of everybody's skincare routine. Because this is where peptides get good, right? Collagen and elastin support. Certain peptides trick your skin into thinking it's injured, so your body sends more collagen. Over time, this means firmer, bouncier skin, barrier repair and hydration. Peptides can strengthen the skin's barrier, reducing sensitivity and dryness. It can even help even skin tone. Some peptides regulate melanin, giving you a brighter, more even complexion. And some of them even calm down redness and irritation. That was literally just a checklist of everything I personally need for my skin, especially as my skin matures. And another thing that's so great about peptides is that they're gentle. You don't need to build up a tolerance the way you do with other things like retinols or exfoliating acids. And that's not to say that you don't need those or you shouldn't be using them or that peptides are better. It's just peptides feel more supportive and they're not aggressive, and they're great support alongside these more potent actives. So let's get into the products, because theory is great, but I know you want to know what actually works. Recently, I've been trying the COSRX peptide trio, which you may have seen back here, but you might have noticed has disappeared the last few months because I've been using them. Now, COSRX, a bit of like tongue-in-cheek, have been saying that peptides is better than gold. And honestly, I think that's such a cleverer way of reframing peptides. Instead of chasing this Botox fantasy, they're saying that peptides are the luxury ingredient that actually makes sense for everyday skincare. And a fun fact, certain peptides can actually cost more per gram than gold without the hefty price tag. So let's go through the peptide trio. Let's start off with the 6 peptide skin booster. This is like a jumbo size kind of toner serum hybrid, and let me be honest with you. Sorry, a little itchiness here. When I first started using this, I was like, it's a hydrating tonery feeling product. It's whatever, but I'm on my second bottle and it's like down to here. I am going through this, and I'll explain what changed my mind in a minute, but let's talk about the product. Lightweight, it's that slightly thicker than water texture that I absolutely love, but absorbs super quickly into the skin. It hydrates, plumps, smooths texture, reduces excess oil, helps with congestion as well, and that's why I love it. So reading the peptides on the back here, we have SH polypeptide, collagen boosting and plumping, acetyl hexapeptide 8, smoothing, fine lines and firmness. And I feel like they're those like well-aging peptides that we're all familiar with. But we also have dipeptide diaminobutyrol benzylmide diacetate. I tried, which helps with excessive sebum and pore care. We have palmitol tripeptide 8 to soothe and reduce skin sensitivity. And then we have oligopeptide 68 for brightening and copper tripeptide 1 for retexturizing and blemish. So as I mentioned, I first started using this and thought, you know what, it's a really nice hydrating product. But as the months went past as I was using this, I was noticing reduction in redness and potential irritation, congestion, excess oiliness, which is like all of this covers every single one of my skincare concerns as somebody with combination skin, dry, very oily T-zone. I don't think I'm ever escaping an oily T-zone throughout my whole life, and maturing skin too. It just seems to really tick all the boxes. Obviously, it's my first step after cleansing. It gives you that immediate hydrated plump feel, but also works over time to keep you nicely hydrated. I also feel like we've all bought and used peptide products in particular that are just so expensive, or even just like a tenner more than we like to pay for a serum or a toner or essence. And we tend to treat them like liquid gold, a couple drops for the whole face, trying to make it last as long as possible so we don't have to fork out another small fortune for a peptide product, because peptide is the buzzy ingredient at the moment. And as I'm explaining in this video, rightfully so. But I feel like this is the opposite, a good price in a jumbo sized bottle. I could just layer this up without holding back, to be honest with you, but that doesn't mean it feels any less luxurious. 6 different peptides in here, so it's gonna make a nice treatment. That slightly thick consistency, it layers beautifully. Everything that makes our routine feel more elevated and luxurious, this provides. I'm impressed and not surprised because it's COSRX. Okay, let's move on to these. These are the Peptide Collagen Hydrogel Eye Patches. These two products are probably the ones you're most familiar with because they're really popular. I believe these are a bestseller as well at the moment. But these are those jelly hydrogel patches, and these contain 4 different peptides: collagen, caffeine, and niacinamide. And they claim that they reduce puffiness in 10 minutes. And whilst I can't really say because I don't have a lot of puffiness, they do add this amazing cooling and instant brightening under the eyes. They definitely look more awake. And that's because they are just soaked in this serum that isn't too much. It doesn't drip down the face. You know, your under eye patches don't end up rolling down your face, and they're not too dry either. Sometimes you get these hydrogel patches that they're like coated in nothing. But once you leave these on for about 10 to 15 minutes, I leave them on for a little bit longer than recommended, to be honest with you. And that's when I really think you can see the difference. Take them off, pat that excess serum in. You do get this instant brightening under the eyes because you're hydrated, you're dewy, and you're plump. You can also use these in specific areas, kind of spot treat too. Dry patches, dehydrated patches, patches where you need that little extra hydration for makeup prep. And I've also seen people use these just all around their faces, almost like a face mask, not just under the eyes. So they really are nicely multifunctional. And as I mentioned, they're a bestseller too. I like these. I think hydrogel patches are hard to get right and hard to enjoy because, like I said, they're either a sloppy mess that slide down your face, or they just kind of sit there like a bit of jelly, then nothing really happens. But yeah, these really do feel like an eye gel, but in patch form. Next up is the Peptide Collagen Lifting Glow Hydrogel Mask. If you've watched my videos on and off, you'll know my love-hate relationship with these types of masks. I think I started off the year absolutely despising them, but I slowly started to fall in love with these as like event prep, or kind of like an emergency IV drip for my face kind of thing. For those who aren't familiar, this starts off pink and then turns transparent as the ingredients absorb into your skin. So you leave these on for about 2 to 3 hours. A lot of people leave these on overnight. Not me. I can't do it. I'm a side sleeper. I'm like, I need to have a completely clear face, otherwise I can't sleep. But these contain, again, 6 different peptides, collagen, hyaluronic acid, and soothing ingredients like allantoin. As I mentioned, I don't wear these overnight, but worn for a couple of hours, my skin feels plump, hydrated, and genuinely looked glowy. You can see from this when I'm taking off the mask, it's not a dewy glass skin glow. It's a well hydrated glow from within, and I'm running my finger along my skin and nothing's coming off. You're not left with like a gooey mess on your face. You are just left with really well hydrated skin. As I mentioned, I kind of use these more for like event prep or when I need a little bit extra TLC for my skin. I fly through these in the colder months because no matter what I use, I do have combination skin and I spend a lot of time outside in the winter as much as I dislike it. I have 2 golden retrievers. I have to walk them twice a day. Lots of outside play. So my skin is always battling the elements. So in the colder months, I like to apply one of these maybe once a week just to give my skin that extra boost of hydration. The other time I use these is when I have an event to go to, check into my hotel, do my skincare routine, put this on, sit on the bed for a couple of hours, take it off, do my hair, get ready. Your skin is dewy and plump. Makeup sits great on it. Oh, if you apply this, a couple of layers of this before the mask, pat it in, but don't let it dry down completely. Not wet, but just so your skin's kind of like soaked in it. Then apply this mask. The glow after is insane. I just feel like it traps everything in. So yeah, for me, it's definitely more of like a special occasion product. There's no reason why you couldn't use these every night. You just don't really need to because that hydration in that concentrated way lasts such a long time. Like you see that glow for like days after. So together, this trio really leans into that better than gold vibe, which I think again is really a really cute way of like rebranding peptides. It's not about instant Botox like results at all. It's about building skin that's firmer, plumper, and more hydrated and healthier over time. And in that sense, yes, I think peptides are better than gold. I would rather have that than a gold bar. Oh, no, yeah. Just to emphasize, right, how much I love peptides, I just want to compare it to other important and popular actives, right? Retinol, vitamin C, and exfoliants. Although obviously not the same thing or replacements or anything like that, I feel like they're pushers. They stress your skin into renewal, whereas peptides kind of like encourage your skin. They support your skin, help repair it, and help other products perform better, making it the perfect thing to use alongside your exfoliants, retinoids, etc. Because yeah, the peptide skin booster is incredibly soothing, so great for those exfoliation days or in between days when you're just trying to like give your skin a break, you know? And that's my case for why I think peptides deserve a place in most routines. Even if you're using those stronger actives, peptides just make the whole thing more balanced, I would say. And we're already seeing peptide formulas get smarter, like different delivery systems, combinations with growth factors, exosomes, PDRN. The science is only getting more targeted. So yeah, it all feels very high tech, but still gentle. Definitely an ingredient to watch even more if you aren't already. So no, peptides aren't Botox in a bottle, and that's okay. They don't need to be. They're one of the most versatile, supportive, and genuinely effective skincare ingredients we have without this fake PR marketing surrounding it. And when you use them consistently, they really can transform the way your skin looks and feels. So yeah, check out the peptide trio in the description box down below. Thank you again to COSRX for sponsoring today's video. We've been working together for years now. COSRX are one of the first K-beauty brands that really got me like into ingredients and discovering K-beauty. So they always hold a special place in here. Oh no, where's your heart? I don't know, down here somewhere, not in my throat. So yes, products will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.